everybody, welcome back to the WHCC Expo booth at Imaging USA 2025. Got some awesome people walking by right now. A little distracted. Welcome back. I love interviewing Lisa and Darren Thompson from North Carolina. So today, we're going to kind of take a step away from Type A Lisa, business-focused photography studio, and we're going to talk about something a little bit more personal. So you guys have an amazing son, Landon.
Yes.
And he is 18. And you were sharing a really cool story at dinner the other night about something that you did with him when you were traveling and what that turned into. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, he had expressed an interest for sort of that image competition, just because he's always been competitive. And so we started teaching him, and of course, in the image competition, he needs to photograph it and edit all himself.
Yep.
And so we would help him and train him and then take opportunities when we traveled to find interesting things to photograph and then have training opportunities and teaching spots or whatever. And so yeah, we did that on the way back from one of the trips where he had done some photos and really was super interested. I took advantage of that.
Yeah.
And we had a delay. It was like midnight at the Atlanta airport. So I just like, well, you know, we have 2 hours. Let's go play.
Yeah.
And the thing that, which we'll probably talk about, but the thing with photography, he has a very intuitive mind and he figures things out quickly. And I was like, he's going to figure out the technical part of it, but I want to teach him the creative part of it. So that's what we did in the airport that night.
Yeah.
And that is what produced amazing work that he now talks about and brags about all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a very paraphrased version of what happened, but I think the point that I really want to get to with you two today, and you said it very well, Lisa, I think there is an extreme focus on the technical. You know, the software, the hardware, the camera, the lens, the light, the all the things.
Yeah.
But when it really comes down to, photography is a relationship-based career. Creativity, you know, being able to see form and composition and shadow and light and all those things. And to have that opportunity for him to train with you guys as, you know, a new generation. Because somebody who is 18 certainly sees the world differently than what I do. You know I'm much older than both of you.
Thank you. You're so nice.
You're welcome. But like, I hope everybody listening understands how cool that is. And we were talking before, and I know Darren, you know, to kind of shift the conversation to you, you're a coach.
Right.
And you coached your son.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, and how has that played into this adult that he's becoming, and how he's able to learn from Lisa instead of being like, whatever, mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what you see with most kids in coaching athlete or whatever the situation may be. Situation is they tend to, if it's mom or dad, not want to listen. And we've been very fortunate and very blessed that Landon does, and he plays baseball, so I'm a baseball guy and baseball coach. And over the course of the years that he's played, I've coached him a lot, and but he's always tended to respect what I had to say in coaching and things like that. And I know that's an anomaly. It doesn't happen all the time, and that's spilled over into his interest now in photography. The other thing I think that helped is he did enter that print competition the first time. He had a little bit of success early. And that was a little kick in the butt, and he was not afraid to tell mom and dad, well, how many awards have you won? You know, so, but now we've caught up. Now we've, exactly. Yeah. We have since caught up, I think, but that has been special for me as a parent, that he did respect me enough in my history and my background to listen to the things that I had to say and really take them to heart. And I know that doesn't happen all the time. But it's been nice and refreshing, because like I tell people all the time, we didn't push him into this interest. Now, will it become a career? We don't know yet, to be determined, but at least for now, his interest and the things that he's interested in photography, in design and things like that, it's nice to see, and he's doing it of his own intuition or what have you, because we're not going to force it on him.
Yeah, for sure. No, I bet you if you took a poll, an honest poll throughout all the attendees at Imaging USA for people that have a business and they're trying to grow, probably a lot of them, a very, very large percentage, would be thinking, when is the right time for me to have a staff person? How do I train that person? What type of level should they come in at versus, like what the expectation should be. If somebody's listening and wants a staff member, wants an employee, wants a photographer, what would be your advice if Landon wasn't your son and he was somebody who was aspiring and you saw that light in his eye and you want to train him to be part of your business, like what would be your top few tips to do that?
I'm going to give one, and then I'm going to let Lisa finish the answer because
we know she's in charge.
Right, exactly, and she at the studio has worked with several different assistants and can speak to it a little better, photography specific. But one thing that I would say is, it's really about, just like with our clients, building relationships. It's got to be the right person. It's got to be the right fit. It's about getting the right people on the bus and the wrong people off the bus, if you will. And it's got to work when the time is right. And that would be my advice. Now, she might can go a little more in depth there.
He's like, give me that microphone.
But that's my take on it from a business perspective, which is kind of broad strokes, but very true.
Yep, very true.
So I had a very good example in someone who came into the studio and started working for us. And I told her from the very beginning, I can't necessarily train personality and customer service and friendliness. She had that instantly. I can train you a lot, The other thing is I didn't have a huge expectation. So no one's going to be like you or me or you. So I'm always like, have a fair expectation of people to set them up in your mind for success, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm not dealing with, but like experiencing now, trying to have a few new people in the studio. So I'm really trying to learn what they're good at, best at, and then have them do just those things until they learn other things. So I have a lot of like part-time people right now trying to figure out. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is you have to be friendly and you have to have like a great personality because that is my top thing in my business. Yeah. So.
Do you want to know a personal story about me in direct relation to that?
Yes.
So I was hired by a photographer in the late 90s, 96 I think it was. And when I got hired, I said, well, I don't know anything about photography whatsoever. Like, I don't know. And he's like, it doesn't matter. You've got the personality for it. I can train the rest. So that's very true. And one thing I do want to add on top of what you both were saying, and this is something that I recently am really focusing on and working on, is accepting what is in a human being and then building off of that. Because we are all individuals. We're all going to do things differently, and accepting that it is. And then working to grow from there versus trying to stress and change that is, because you're never going to do it.
Right.
Which is good. Because then we all approach things differently. We see things differently. We talk different. We have different inflections. So, yeah, well, this has been awesome. And congratulations to Landon. And what was the score that he got on that print? 93. 93. Which is a really good score.
93, and the judge's choice for that print.
The whole entire competition.
Yeah.
Dad, by the way, I got a judge's choice.
Yeah.
Right.
I have not matched that yet.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. It's always such a pleasure hanging out with you. And we hope that you've enjoyed the interview with Lisa and Darren Thompson. We'll be back with you shortly.